Come on, guys, let's go to church.
Let's go to church, Daddy.
Yes, tell them, let's go to church.
Let's go to church, everybody.
When you are in church, in Sunday school, what did you learn?
To be nice.
Oh, you learned to be nice. That's what the teacher said?
Be nice.
Hey friends, what's up? Moses here at the Driver Success channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm at home. I'm really tired, but I need to finish up some stuff. And so I thought as I do what I need to do, I should make a video also answering questions from Air Code Head. I hope I pronounced that right. Air Code Head. There are a couple of questions, so I'm gonna do my best to answer them as I finish up what I need to finish up before I go take a shower and go to bed. So let me answer those questions. Okay, the first question was what's my typical day like? Actually, I have already made a video that basically gives you an idea of what my typical day is like, but just to briefly let you know is I start at 2 p.m. and I usually work between 2 and 2. So I start at 2 p.m. and then get off somewhere between midnight and 2 o'clock. That sometimes things don't work out the way you expect them to work out, and so sometimes I may work past 2 o'clock because I'm delayed maybe at a customer or something goes wrong, and I end up working past 2 o'clock. And there are times I've even worked almost close to running out of my clock. That means I was almost getting to 4 o'clock. But again, that's because something came up and there was no way out of it. But if you are maybe like at a customer's place and then you realize you are running out of hours, you just have to let dispatch know, or they will even call you themselves if they realize you are running out of hours. But it's your responsibility to let them know. So if you need to just unhook from the trailer and drive back to the yard, they will let you do that because they don't want you to violate your hours. But generally speaking, my day starts at 2 p.m. and ends between midnight and 2 p.m. So I usually put in between 10 to 12 hour days. My day starts off, most of the time I will get a pickup from the rail because the rail that is closest to us is the Hazmat rail, and most of the time we have loads coming from the rail going to drop at a customer. I'll say almost like maybe 85% of the time, if not even 90% of the time, we are taking a load. When we start work, we are taking a load from the rail to a customer. When you get to a customer, you drop the load, or if it's a live load, they unload you, and then you go somewhere else to pick up a load and bring back to the rail. Either you bring it to the Hazmat rail or the Wiley rail. Those are the two rails that we run. Most of our loads are from and to the Hazlet rail. Now every now and then we get loads that go to the Wiley rail, but we do have some drivers that work out of the Wiley rail. Those usually do the loads that are in and out of the Wiley rail. But my day is usually like from rail to customer, from customer to rail, from rail to customer, back and forth. That's what we do. Most of our loads are drop and hooks, but we do have live loads too. We get live loads, but most of them are usually drop and hooks. So that's typically how the day is. The next question is how much delivery to customer. So let me see, because I want to combine some of these questions together. How much do customers take containers or who unloads? Okay, so most of the days I will do about 4 to 5 loads in a day. Usually 4 to 5 loads. Every now and then you get 6 loads. If your day has been planned well and everything goes well, you could make 6 loads within that time frame of 10 to 12 hours. But most of the time it's 4 to 5 loads. We don't unload, it's the customer that unloads. If you go to a customer where the customer requires you to unload, usually they have lampers out there, so you just let the lamper unload and then you ask the company for a com check to pay the lamper. The next question is, what's the worst aspect of my job? The thing with trucking, it's every day is different. You never know how a day is going to turn out. So it's hard to say a particular thing because every day has its own challenges and you just have to learn to deal with the challenges. But some of the things, I'm just going to mention a few things that that I don't really like to happen. I mean, I have no control over them and I can't blame my managers because sometimes they have no control over them. But I'll give you an example of the things that really just kind of waste my day. Say I do my day and I'm almost getting off. It's maybe like 11 o'clock, right? And I'm like just waiting to get off. Maybe I look at my clock and it's 11 o'clock, and then I say, you know what, I can do one more load. I ask dispatch for a short load. Usually a short load will take me maybe like an hour or even less. So they give me a short load, right? And then I go to the rail. Maybe I get to the rail and I get bad luck in the sense that maybe something is wrong with the chassis. Now, it's not the dispatcher's fault, it's not anybody's fault, it's just bad luck. I have to deal with that situation. So at night, it's almost like getting a flip on a chassis can take long because sometimes nobody's there to help you flip. You have to go to the, we call it the DAB building to get authorization for the flip, and then you have to wait for the guys to come and do the flip for you. And sometimes you could wait for an hour or even more just waiting to get a flip. That's even before you even start to go to the customer. So you were thinking, oh, it's 11 o'clock, I'm going to ask for one more load and I should be off by 12 or 12:30. And then you find yourself in the rail from 11 o'clock and maybe up to like 12 or 12:30 or even 1 o'clock waiting on that load. Now, that is something that just messes up my day because I was thinking I'm going home and then all of a sudden I'm not going home as early as I thought. And guess what? Of course, for the first hour, if you're there maybe like from 11 to 12, they're not even going to pay you for that hour because they will pay you rail delay after an hour. So that is something that just will disorganize your day. Or maybe I remember maybe like a day or two ago, I was leaving the customer, I'm looking at my clock, I'm like, okay, I have 4 loads in, but based on my clock, if I can run this load back to the rail, I can get 1 more load in. But then I hate construction. So you waste your time in there, you're not being paid for that time, you didn't put in your extra load that you wanted to put in, things like that. Or maybe you sometimes you go to a customer and something goes wrong and you are delayed at a customer. Those are the things that really will spoil your day. The other thing that I don't like, every time you are in getting a load or an empty, you have to have what we call billing. Like BNSF requires you to have a load billed. So sometimes I hate it when I get to the rail and my load or my empty is not billed to the rail. Then I have to contact dispatch. Now, depending on the day and the time, sometimes it may be a little, I don't know if I should say hard, getting dispatch at night, but I hate it because that means I have to go inside the rail, and there's a way the rail is set up in that you have to go to the DAB building, and then from there you have to go all around to go back to where you're supposed to park. It's something small, but again, it's something that kind of will mess up my day, especially if you know, like you've been planning, you're looking at your clock and you have everything planned out and something unexpectedly happens. That messes you up. But what I usually do is to remind myself that that is what the job entails. I try not to get myself worked out. I try to remind myself that that's what the job comes with, and so I don't want to blame any of my managers or just blame anybody. I just realize it's part of what the job comes with. And honestly speaking, I'm happy with our managers here at the Hazmat Rail. I know I've heard of some drivers that complain about their managers at other terminals, and maybe even here. I don't know if there are some people who complain about our managers, but personally I've had a good experience with the managers. But again, on the other hand, I'm somebody I take life really easy. I try not to stress myself out. I try to look at the positive part of life, and what I just look at stuff and say, you know what, things could be worse. I'm glad this is happening. I try to encourage myself not to get stressed out and to just take my life easy. So I like giving myself a peace of mind. I don't like stressing out about stuff. So I try to breathe in and breathe out. Now, talking about that, it reminds me the other part about my day, and I think every truck driver will tell you this: driving on the road with people that do not understand how the trucks work can be so stressful, because people cut you off and do all kinds of crazy things, in that you just have to be careful when you are on the road. And so when I find myself on the freeways and people cutting me off, people are just driving like they don't have any regard for their lives or the lives of others, that is one other thing that really just messes up my day. I mean, again, as I said, you just learn that that's what comes with a job, and you learn to deal with it. But generally speaking, every day is different, and so it's hard to say what one thing is hard about my job, other than, again, the usual things that come with trucking, the traffic and drivers that don't know what they're doing, and the things that I've said, like when you have your time planned out and then things don't work as planned out. Those are the things that really I would say are challenging about my day. But I think every job has its challenges. The only difference here with trucking is every day is different. What challenges you today may not challenge you tomorrow. There are days that can be so perfect. One of those days is like you go in there and you have your whole day planned out. They give you like maybe 4 or 5 loads from the time you get in, and then everything just goes smooth. Nothing happens that like messes you up. Everything goes in, and so within like you do maybe like 5 or 6 loads and you are off by maybe like 12 or 1 o'clock, and you have like 5 or 6 loads, you are off like before 1 o'clock, and even the miles you have had enough miles. Those are really good days, and those usually for me they happen on Saturdays. That's when I could be able to make many loads, a lot of miles within a short period of time. Those are good days. Even during the week, every now and then you could get those loads where they just planned you right. Your miles and your loads are just perfect. You make that good money within a short period of time. Those are perfect days. But as I said, every day is different. So I hope that helps to give you an idea of what my day is like. But again, I'm going to put a link to that video that I made that shows like from the time I start and the time I end and what happens. I kind of made a short video to go through to give you an idea of that. So I will put a link to that video. I hope I remember, and in the description below. All right. For more questions, send them to moses@driversuccess.com, and if don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. I think I'm tired too. I'm just gonna go take a bath here and go to bed, because I actually didn't know it was very late. Right now it's 2 a.m. Usually 2 a.m. this is the time I'm back home, and maybe I'm done taking a shower, or I'm just back home and doing some stuff before I take a shower. So I'm kind of used to sleeping this late. So for now, let me go and take a shower and go to bed, because I'm really tired. And then I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Until then, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye bye.